deer. 45 yards, just smoked him.
Hey, BBD, baby.
What's up everyone, Alex Comstock here, welcome back to the vlog. Before I get anywhere in this video, I want to just quickly ask you if you could do a huge favor. If you enjoy this video, hit that like and subscribe button down below. And if you really like the video, hit that bell for notifications. That all means a lot to me and it goes a long way with me as I try to help build this channel. With that being said, today's video is going to be a little bit of a different approach, a little bit of a different topic. You know, I've been covering some shed hunting stuff, scouting, filming stuff. And today I just want to talk about what makes a good deer hunter. I get this kind of question a lot, or people will ask like, you know, I'm not very good at this, or I'm not good at that. Like, what makes a good deer hunter? And I just want to take a general approach to this question and just talk about what I believe makes a good deer hunter, where you can, you know, judge yourself on becoming a good deer hunter as you're, you know, trying to go from maybe a beginner to someone trying to shoot mature bucks, whatever it is. But that's what today's video is going to be all about, and it's just what makes a good deer hunter. So the very first thing that I want to talk about is deer hunting is all situational. It's all about where you live, what kind of properties you can hunt, what kind of caliber of deer you're hunting, what your goals are. And that's going to be the kind of big concept with this video. Is it's all about what are your goals, right? So I don't think just because, you know, let's say, to start off, we're just going to say you live in Pennsylvania, you hunt on giant public land, and you know there's just not much around for big antlered bucks, but you're consistently every year you set a goal to shoot a 3 or 4 year old buck, and every year you're doing it. That does not make you any less of a deer hunter than someone who's consistently shooting a 170-inch buck or 150-inch buck in Iowa, Illinois, southern Minnesota, whatever. It just doesn't, those two are just so different, and it doesn't have to be just Pennsylvania. It can be any other type of example, right? But ultimately what it comes down to is what are your goals and what can you allow? So let's say you set a goal every year of shooting a 3-year-old buck, and you even live in, you know, we'll say southern Iowa. But, you know, when every situation's different, you know, maybe you work a just crazy amount, you know, you have a crazy demanding job. It's really hard for you to get out in the woods, and you're only able to get out a few times a year. You know, that's what I mean by talking where every situation's different, with not just where you live and hunt, but every single person has a different situation. So the big overlying theme with this video is to not compare yourself to others. I hate that. You know, there's nothing more that triggers me than when someone goes, you know, post a picture of a buck, and not the biggest in the world, but it does not matter as long as you're reaching your goals. Now with that, and if you're trying to judge yourself, you know, on what makes you a good deer hunter, it's, are you able to improve? So every year I'm trying to improve on the little things. I'm always trying to become a better hunter. And just in some years, just because I might not shoot a buck doesn't really necessarily mean that I didn't improve. So if you're not reaching your goals every year, that's okay, but are you improving? So, you know, every year I'm trying to pick up on things where when I'm going in and out of the woods, I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to pick up on ways to become a better hunter. And maybe something happened this year, even if you did get lucky and shoot a nice buck or something. If you're able to pick up on some things where, you know, like this year, for example, I'm going to definitely change some things hunting during the rut from what I did last year, because last year I was just, I mean, I had so many good encounters, but wasn't able to just, you know, make it happen. And I learned a lot from it. You know, I learned on being more aggressive. And, you know, one of my best days during the rut last year was when it was 70 degrees in early November. And, you know, what I learned is the rut is the rut no matter what, right? And I knew that, but it's hard to kind of get in that mindset when it's 70 degrees and you're like, man, it's not cold, you're not going to see many deer. And I ended up sitting all day one day and saw a ton of deer. So from there, I want to kind of talk about taking things in your, you know, neck of the woods and being able to apply them to other areas. I think that's what really showcases a good deer hunter, is if you're able to do it wherever you go, right? So if you live in, like I say, I live in Minnesota. So let's say you live in Minnesota, you really hone in your area, you know, you get consistent at shooting, you know, bucks every year or two. Are you able to take what you've learned and translate that somewhere else? Are you able to go to a different state and do it? Because I think that really, really showcases good deer hunters. Because those really good deer hunters, you know, no matter what their goals are, they're able to accomplish them in Michigan to Iowa to Arkansas to, you know what I mean? Like, some of the best deer hunters out there are my good friends at the hunting public, and I'm sure if you're watching me, you've watched their videos. But what constantly impresses me about all those guys it doesn't matter what state they go to, they're able to make it happen. You know, whatever their goal is. They're not always shooting giant bucks, but that's not always their goal. And you know, it just constantly impresses me. No matter where they go, they're getting it done. And you know, that just really, to me, is like the epitome of a good deer hunter. Is just they're able to translate, you know, what you can learn in the springtime in Iowa and learning bedding areas, and then translate that to going down to Ohio or going out to North Dakota and be able to take that information that you've learned in one spot and be able to apply it to other areas. And if you can start doing that and, you know, picking up on general things for bedding and for travel and for food and applying them to different situations, that's going to really help you improve as a deer hunter. And really, I think, is just epitomize becoming a good deer hunter. And then one of the last things that I want to talk about, you know, and like this video, I said it's a little bit of a different type of video. It's kind of a general overall, you know, what makes a good deer hunter. But I wanted to talk about the little things. I think it's paying attention to the details and really keeping on the little things is what's going to really make you a good deer hunter, right? So people that can just pick up on, you know, the little tweaks every year, you know, that, and it kind of goes back to the improving, but if you can just every year take a little thing and learn on it and pick on those details, and, you know, maybe, you know, there's a big difference between getting close to shooting a buck and putting a big buck down or putting a mature buck down. And I think that's the separator between people that are really good deer hunters and that consistently get it done and those that don't. You know, like this year's a great example for me. In Minnesota, I probably saw more mature bucks from the stand than I've seen in a long time, but I wasn't able to get it done. You know, and just going that, being able to take that next step and put myself in position to send an arrow at a buck, you know, it doesn't, I mean, I was super close, I learned a lot, but, you know, it's taking that last, you know, the little fine details. You know, there's probably a few days where I was lazy and didn't do a hanging hunt where I should have, or I didn't take the back way into a stand and I should have and bump deer out. It's those little details that are ultimately going to make you the best hunter that you can be, and I find that really important. So those are a few things. I mean, I could jump into a lot of different things here and get nitty gritty on tactics and what actually makes a good deer hunter, but my whole point of this video is to really try to drive home the fact that just because, you know, you might not be shooting 150-inch deer every year doesn't mean you're not a good deer hunter. And it's just setting goals, it's being able to improve every year, and it's being able to translate what you learn to other areas that are ultimately going to make you the best deer hunter that you can be. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and be sure to come back here next week, so we're going to have plenty of videos here coming every week throughout the rest of the year. Thanks for watching. I'll see you here next time.